Hello and welcome back to another video. So this time it's not really going to be about World of Warcraft. Basically, today marks the first year of me doing YouTube, so I'm going to do a bit of a vloggy, rambly kind of thing. I don't know, sometimes I know that when other YouTubers hit milestones like this and they do a vlog thing, I like to listen to it, so I thought, hey, I may as well do the same thing. So, yeah, an entire year. That's honestly kind of crazy. The channel started off in a really impromptu way. Like, I mean, the chances of all this happening are kind of astronomically tiny. Basically, at the time I was playing quite a bit of StarCraft, StarCraft 2, Heart of the Swarm, even. And I really wanted to get better at the game, so I said to myself, right, I will stream. And the reason I'll stream is because I'll get into a schedule, and that will force me to keep on practicing the game so that I can get into Diamond League or something like that. That didn't happen, as it turned out. I lasted about 3 days of streaming, but while I was streaming, what I noticed is that Twitch had this option to export to YouTube, and I had dabbled in YouTube a bit beforehand, but honestly, everything, like, it was all a load of bollocks, really. But I thought, hey, I may as well stick these in YouTube, because, you know, why the hell not? So I named the channel its current, absolutely terrible name. I really do need to rebrand it sometime. I just have no idea what I'd ever rebrand it to. But yeah, I made the channel, or like, I didn't make it, I just kind of like, went back onto it or something. Yeah, so I put up all those Twitch VODs, and honestly, those Twitch VODs did surprisingly well. They're all like a few hundred views, which is weird. But anyway, so I put those videos up, and I really got this, like, hankering to make videos. So I was like, oh, what could I do? And then I looked at MMO Champion, I was like, oh, wait, I play World of Warcraft, yes, I'll do news. And I just got back into the game at that point, after, like, a solid year and a half off. I got back at maybe, I think it was late December, basically that Christmas. And this was, of course, in March, so I thought, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna start doing YouTube videos for World of Warcraft. I saw MMO Champion and thought, oh, that's news, and then I read this news and I thought, oh, I could, like, do a news show. And it's funny, it wasn't until a good little bit after that I realized, oh, hang on a second, this is really similar to Azeroth Daily. And I guess that it probably was very similar to that for a decent amount of time, but I think I've definitely differentiated things from what Total Biscuit used to do. Like, he was, I think, a little bit lighter in the news, more so, like, focused on doing other things, like his mailbox segment, and the achievement segment, and all those different things, which I'm not really as interested in doing. So, yeah, that's how Warcraft Daily started off. And it's kind of bizarre. Things were like the growth of the channel is really just a natural evolution from there. I mean, some people enjoyed Warcraft Daily, but then I put out a few guide videos for patch 5.2, and I mean, those guide videos did pretty well. They didn't do great, but actually, the videos themselves were utter drivel when I look back at them now. But yeah, I think it definitely took about I'd say maybe 2 months to really get the whole kind of commentary thing down. Of course, I'm way better at it now than I was then. It's funny, actually, it's just one of those things you need to put in the hours to get better at it. So yeah, that just kept on going, and I think where the channel really kicked off in a small way was patch 5.3, because my two 5.3 videos, and then shortly after that, my initial 5.4 video when we all, like, found out about the news, they did really pretty well, actually. And that's what really kicked off the subscribers and got the channel growing. And it's funny, you know, that was back at the stage when the channel was maybe growing by like 4 subs a day, and then all of a sudden it was going up to maybe 10, and this was like a crazy exciting thing. Okay, it wasn't always 10, but it was usually in and around that. And so yeah, then the summer happened. Honestly, the summer was just it's a little bit dull, just waiting for things to happen, I guess. But I think a few videos really worked out pretty well. But then the big thing, which really kicked everything off with patch 5.4, I think I can solidly say that I did some of the best coverage in the internet for that patch, in terms of, like, my hunter guides and at the time the sale and all that. And I know I could do way better now, but just in terms of, like, numbers and views and stuff, and, like, based, like, just solely on YouTube, that really was kind of like the thing that blasted everything off. So yeah, 5.4 was awesome, and then BlizzCon happened, and BlizzCon's really what did the job. You know, I think I was at about 6,000 subscribers, and then the very first Warlords of Draenor trademark stuff happened, so I leaped on that. I started making all those speculation videos, which of course now are completely misunderstood by people. They see the video about, like, I don't know, ethereals possibly being a race, and it was just me talking about the history of ethereals, and why I think they'd be a pretty cool race. And of course at that stage, we had no idea what Warlords would end up being. But now when I look back at those videos, there's just so many comments calling me out as being some like terrible, evil, clickbaiting douchebag, which I find kind of funny, honestly. But anyway, yeah, then BlizzCon happened. BlizzCon was insane. I think there was one of those BlizzCon days I got 150,000 views on the videos in one day. That was absolute insanity. And it was really awesome, don't get me wrong. But really, that's just what propelled the channel up to where it is now. And it's been weird, actually, you know, since... I think really since late December, it's been really slow for just about every World of Warcraft YouTuber. And I think that's fine if you've got a content schedule that's maybe a little bit more like, say, Danger Dolans or Noble, where they have their big weekly thing with DD's like lists and discussion videos, and then Noble's lore. But I think for my channel, it's definitely been a very odd experience. It's weird, like that kind of level of gratification that you're used to, you know, coming off BlizzCon and patch 5.4 when the channel's really growing by like 150 subscribers a day, and it's all, you know, it's going hard, it's awesome, it's great. And then it slows all the way down to 50. And it stays there for like 2 months solid. And I've been looking at other channels, and really just about everyone's in the same kind of state. I know it's just kind of annoying, but the good news is that it's probably going to start kind of picking up soon enough, I guess. Hopefully it starts picking up, that would be nice. Of course, like when Warlords comes out and, you know, all that stuff starts happening, then yeah, things are going to be awesome. The channel will grow, and that's really what I'm just kind of bunkering down for at the minute. I'm not really too sure exactly what the content's going to be for Warlords, but suffice to say, I'll probably have to kill myself doing it. I remember for BlizzCon, I think I was video making for like 16 to 20 hours a day for 3 days straight, which was a very weird experience. It ended up, I think it was at day 2, I started forcing myself to go on mandatory walks every 4 hours so that I wouldn't die of a blood clot. Like, that's like a blood clot in my leg. That's like a thing that can happen if you sit for too long. And that was like literally going through my head at the time. And, well, luckily I didn't get a blood clot. I didn't die. That was a pretty good thing, in my opinion. But yeah, for Warlords, I'm going to apply that same mindset. You know, I don't think I'm going to, obviously, do 20 hours a day. That would be insane. I think perhaps 3 videos a day, or, I don't know, I'll do what I can. I don't really want to talk about my specific plans, because, you know, sometimes you need to keep your cards close to your chest and things like that. But suffice to say, it'll be really awesome when Warlords comes out, and I'll get to start making videos, and finally World of Warcraft will be picking up a little bit in terms of just interest, because I really think that interest in the game has been waning off. Blizzard They've been trying to kind of wean out the hype for Warlords, and honestly, they've got a pretty hard job. I think the expansion's going to come out a little bit later than they originally thought in BlizzCon, and I think because of that, maybe their whole hype train just got a little bit unbalanced there, and that's why things have been a tad slow. Though I think they're really just trying to work, like, all, you know, steam ahead for the beta. Though right now, Blizzard, like, for Blizzard as a whole, they've got a Diablo expansion coming out, they've got Heroes of the Storm, they've got so much going on. I don't know how long it'll be for the Warlords beta. Honestly, it's gotta be soon enough. I mean, it's gotta be within the next 2 months. I guess I personally kind of gain from it being a tiny bit later than we initially thought, because, well, really the last third of this university semester is it's basically nothing for me, so I'll have a lot of free time. That'll definitely be very nice for the beta, so things should line up really well. That's the overall hope. But then, like, in terms of goals and things like that, and where I really want to drive the channel, well, you know, I look at, like, DD and Noble and those people, and I just think, damn, I really do want to reach that level of success, and my goal at the end of the year is to be up there, you know, maybe 50,000 subscribers, maybe 60,000. I really do want to just try to blast it out of the park and just do as much work at this whole YouTube thing as I can. If it really does work out that well, it will just sort of improve a whole bunch of things, really, for me, which would be very nice. I think the main thing that I really enjoy of YouTube, it's just like, I don't know, what's the word, it's like being able to make a video, and then you put it out, people respond to it, people enjoy it, and you just know that you've hopefully provided something of value to someone else that's helped them out, you know, for a bit, or maybe not even help them, just entertain them, or kind of kept them abstigated for 15 minutes if that's what they were looking for. That's kind of like the main thing that I really enjoy. So yeah, I mean, of course, like, people are going to say, oh, money. Yeah, money helps, but honestly, right now I can tell you, with the way ad revenue, things like that are going, none of us are making that much at all. I mean, I have computer upgrades that I'm looking forward to getting, actually. Well, I may as well just talk about that now. It's an Intel Haswell E processor, an X99 motherboard, 32GB of RAM. That, of course, won't be available to September, but here's the thing. Just to give you an idea of how not crazy YouTube money is, I'm going to have to save until then. For months on end, and just not spend crazy amounts of extra, on stuff. And even at that, I don't know if that'll be enough for me to afford that sort of thing. And the reason I want those upgrades, by the way, is just because it'll really help out the old workflow. Rendering videos faster. I'll be able to record footage while I'm rendering videos. Just all that stuff would be great. So, yeah, that's kind of like the main things for the year. I want to hit, sort of hit things a bit bigger, because I think just another thing is, like, you're definitely a lot more motivated, and this is just like a total human thing, but if I'm going to make like a 30-minute long video, or one of those like crazy ass amazing videos the DD used to make, not to say like, okay, his current stuff's awesome, I've watched it every day, but I mean the the big ass discussion videos and things like that, I think when you know that they'll be watched by a crap ton of people, it really does help with motivation, and you can kind of justify, maybe not doing one or two other videos so you can really put out a really nice thing for people. So I think that's one of the things that I'll really like about, maybe, I don't know, this time next year when the channel's a little bit bigger. And then, of course, I've learned a lot since patch 5.4. I mean, I really have. Just looking back at some of those videos, I mean, hell, even half my flex and LFR boss guides, I had to do them while I had a really bad cold, and I'm really snivelly and, all kind of clogged up. It's not good, and I'm sure that I can do so much better when it comes to Warlords of Draenor, and I guess that's half the frustration. I've got so many plans and so many things that I want to improve and realize, but until Warlords comes out, we can't do that. And of course, I want to play the damn game because it looks really bloody enjoyable. So get on it, Blizzard. I just really cannot wait for that expansion to come out. It's bizarre, really, having like what is kind of, I say YouTube is my job. I mean that in the fact it's my hobby and my job, because it does kind of help pay my living costs and things like that. But it's odd having your job like dependent on when a video game's going to come out. I mean, that's kind of crazy in a way. And I think another thing that I'm really excited about is going into an expansion like this as a YouTuber, but from the very beginning, because I missed out the start of Mists of Pandaria completely. My university semester actually started off on the 27th of September, and I think Mists came out on the, 25th or something. Basically, they were in around the same time, and I just didn't have time to play the damn game. I got to level 87 on my Hunter, and that was all I had time for. It wasn't actually until the very end of the December of that year that I was able to get back into the game, and then, of course, the following March that I started off the YouTube stuff. So I absolutely cannot wait to just get stuck into things. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, you're going to have, if Warlords comes out in September, you're going to have the same thing. Well, not really, now that I have this YouTube channel is a lot bigger, there's certain sacrifices you have to make in terms of other parts of your life. I show the screenshot. I know, basically there's this thing for university that we have to wear around these key fobs. Honestly, I think it's a complete invasion of privacy, and half the lecturers do as well. But the university can't actually do anything with the information legally, which is good. But anyway, there are these key fobs, and it's got an RFID in it, and it tracks your attendance. I'm not above 45% on any class that I have. Now, of course, in terms of grades, I'm first class honors in every single module, because it's computer science. I'm a computer guy. I love it. And independent learning's a very important skill. By the way, if you're a parent, what matters is independent learning. That's what you need to teach your kids. And if you're, younger than me, independent learning. Seriously, it's literally the most important thing. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of sacrifices you have to make. And now that I am in this position with YouTube, when it comes around to next September and the semester begins, well, I'll make those sacrifices to keep the YouTube channel as good as it possibly can be. I've always been one for playing the long game, and honestly, missing, the first 2 weeks of university, it's not really going to do much, because honestly, hardly anything happens in the first 2 weeks of university anyway. So, yeah, I don't know, I think it'll all work out pretty good. And I guess the other thing that's sort of annoying is just not being able, well, there's a lot of times you have to say no to people, for going out places and doing things, but I think it's all worth it at the end, because, I don't know, I look at myself, 3 years ago, and I think if 3 years ago me was to see what's kind of happened, I just wouldn't believe it, because YouTube's it's crazy and weird and different, and it's not something that I ever really expected would take off. Well, I suppose to take off it has, and I'm really, really thankful. I'm especially, just to everyone who stays along and watches videos, and especially, like, look, those, the people, the few people now who are, there back in the previous, last summer when the channel was small, and I don't know how you guys put up with some of the crap videos that came out, but damn, you did, and if it wasn't for that, the channel wouldn't really be where it is at the minute, so I guess they're kind of the people I have to kind of owe it all to in terms of the basis of, where it all came from. Yeah, it's... YouTube, you're a weird, crazy thing. So, yeah, the future, let's talk about the future. So, things are going to happen then. First of all, those computer upgrades I was talking about, what should that do, and what will that let me do? Well, it should just flatten out my workload a lot. And that's going to be very handy, because right now, to just give you an example of my day, I do skip most of the classes, maybe about 50% of them, really. There are some classes which I don't think any of us go to anyway, because they're literally a bunch of bollocks. I mean, there's classes that are sponsored by corporations and things like that, like Citigroup, Liberty IT, Deloitte, and honestly, they're just the same old bollocks. I mean, we're literally paying money to the university, $4 a year, to be advertised to by these companies. It's really quite bad. But anyway, so I end up skipping quite a lot of classes. Then, maybe I kind of get up at 10. In the morning, then just sort of YouTube to get most of the things, like Warcraft. Really, I'll usually have the day's second video done, but Warcraft Daily, I will, obviously I have to do it in the morning, so get up at 10, do Warcraft Daily. That's usually, recorded, and then with the background footage done, that's probably done, I don't know, half 11, 12, then uploaded, then I set up the other uploads, and then, go to whatever classes or work with people, come back at maybe 4 or 5, and then just basically work the rest of the evening and just chipping away at things, and then, of course, just playing World of Warcraft, because it's the sort of thing I do need to be able to do to stay relevant. You can't be a WoW YouTuber and not play World of Warcraft. It would be very weird. Yeah, so that's just kind of how things go from day to day. But it'll actually be really nice this summer, because the beta will come out, I'll be working on some game ideas with a friend of mine, and it should just be this really nice period where all the work I'm doing is stuff that I love, so it'll be really chill, and hopefully that will come across in my videos. I'm definitely aware that there have been times in the past, especially maybe a period about a month ago, or at least a few weeks ago, where the quality of my commentary was just down so much, because I was getting 5 hours of sleep a night during the week. There was nothing but projects and deadlines and bullshit going on. But I think for the most part that's all sorted now, which is such a massive relief. And hopefully then, when we move into the summer, ultra chill me will be able to just, try a lot harder. Not try a lot harder, just, perform better. It's bizarre, the whole commentary thing. You really do need to be kind of on the ball and awake. That's why getting up at 10 AM having to do the show sometimes a little bit iffy, but I think I'm beginning to manage it. So, yeah, that's a thing. I don't know, what else is there to talk about? I think I mentioned computer upgrades. Yeah, I was talking about the workflow. Yes, I should probably just say in terms of workflow, the biggest problem is it's really stuff like render times and that kind of thing. Render times especially. I think the computer upgrades that I talked about, well, okay, they maybe will cost $1,000 or something, maybe even more, I don't know. I mean, the new processor, if I'm getting the new equivalent of a 4930K, then that, I don't know, could that be £500 on launch or something? I don't like thinking about it. It'll be stuff to save up for, but they should improve my rendering times by about 50%, maybe 40%. So it really will be just such a help. And yeah, so that's what the computer upgrades will do. Now, there are some other upgrades which I would like to make. The very first one is a DSLR, actually, because I'm just looking around at some other YouTube channels, and people who have a really nice camera are able to do some pretty cool stuff. I'm not particularly sure what I'd do exactly with DSLR, but it would certainly help out for the Q&A, and then if I was ever to do... Actually, yeah, I should probably just say, at some point, it won't happen for a good bit of time, let's be honest. I don't expect to see it, because, well, you'll probably be disappointed if you do, but some sort of, weekly Blizzard news show that's... I don't know, it's got, DSLR footage, it's all nice and high definition, I can have a pretty cool set, because, you should see my shelf of interesting items. It's got posters from World of Warcraft, it's got a replica of not John Baratheon, oh wow, Oh, don't tell me I've forgotten Ned Stark's best friend's name. Oh dear. Oh, that's gonna bite me in the ass later on. But anyway, I've got a replica of his like battle hammer thing, so I can make a pretty cool like little set thingy up and do some sort of weekly Blizzard news show where I can just go over the basics of what's happened in all the different games. I think that could be kind of fun, just as an experiment though. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of having a DSLR. It allowed me to do good things. Hell, there's even been times when I've just kind of worked out a really, really good student cooking recipe. Like, I can make amazing, fantastic chips out of... It's a really basic recipe, ultra basic, anyone can do it. You just get paprika, Cajun seasoning, some olive oil, and then a bunch of oven fries that are frozen. You mix it all up, you drizzle the oil on them, pour all the stuff on, put them in the oven, and you get these amazing seasoned fries. Just little things like that. If I had a DSLR, I'd be able to make a video on it, and it just kind of frees up a lot of things. Of course, the problem is DSLR that's decent enough for this kind of work is going to cost about £350 as well, which sort of hurts. Still, though, I think it's worth it. Honestly, I don't really plan on turning any sort of profit on the whole YouTube channel until I can just have enough upgrades and things to really make myself just happy about the content. So DSLR is definitely one thing. That's one of the things I'll be saving up for. Maybe after I get the whole the new processor set up and that sort of thing. In terms of other things, I'd actually really like a more professional sound setup. Right now I'm using a Rode Podcaster. It's a pretty nice mic, and I think the mic itself is not the problem, but I definitely like to get more soundproofing around my room. That's that kind of professional foam stuff that you see a lot of people use. I know Total Biscuit uses it, Dodger does, Jesse Cox does. Basically, the big YouTuber people use that, and it just means that we're all a little bit easier to listen to, I guess. So that's another upgrade. That one should be way cheaper. I'd say it'll probably be like, I don't know, 100, 200 quid to get all the foam and stick it all everywhere and get enough of it to cover a room. Then there's actually one other thing which isn't really, it's more of a personal thing, but I absolutely need one. It's a standing desk. And I actually tried out a standing desk over the summer. I was just this like little ghetto thing. I went out to my dad's woodworking workshop and I made it, so that was fun. But yeah, I did a standing desk for about 2 weeks, and I've got to say, my energy levels were up. I felt way better. I was able to work better. But now that, you know, I'm on a proper computer setup and everything, I kind of need to be able to get a proper standing desk, and I'm probably going to split the money with my dad. And get... Well, you see, here's the thing, right? It's actually from IKEA. And you lucky Swedish people and European people, I think it's, I don't know, is it mainly Sweden they sell it in? I'm not particularly sure. But it's their gallant desk, whatever. It's a fantastic desk. It's really great for the money. It's absolutely fantastic. But they have these special legs, you know, the raising, like, sit-stand desk legs, frames for a setup thingy. They only sell that in Europe. So I'm not too sure how I'll be able to get one, because I could just literally buy one and then stick it onto my current desk. And that would just be so good for, A, my workflow, but B, just my health. You know, like when you're on a computer so much, you can't help but sometimes feel just a little bit shitty. So there's that. I think also in the next year, I really needed to like just start working out a bit more. It's really weird. Like I used to do quite a bit of exercise, like a lot of the time. I was in the rowing club, so I was training. Well, I was training 3 nights a week for all of the year, but then when it was going up to a race, I'd be training 4 or 5 nights a week. I was like half the time a rower, half the time a cox. Cox is the person who basically commands the boat, you know, does the steering, calls out to the... Well, when I say calls out to the crew, people for some stupid reason seem to think that coxes just sit in a thing and say row, row, row. That's not what coxes do. We're responsible for like steering the boat, taking lines, undercutting the other coxes, and basically making sure that we're taking the most aggressive race line that we can. Then also just like calling the crew to do a burst of 10, 20, whatever, strong, you know, thrusts of the oars and things like that. I don't know. Rowing was great fun, actually. It was totally a thing that was fun back in the day. But the main point is that I've gotten out of the way of doing that, and I really need to just get back into rowing. Not into rowing, into fitness. Just a little bit. I do have a treadmill at home. Well, my dad does. He's a crazy runner person. Maybe I'll make a video about the shit that he does someday. But like, he's done a marathon in, let's see, Mount Everest, the North Pole, the South Pole. He's planning one in, I think it's Kilimanjaro. Yeah, he's like this crazy he's literally a goat. He's like a man goat that goes up mountains with his legs and runs. It's sort of insane. But yeah, I think through him, I just like, I see the fact that I'm more heavy than him, which of course he's only like 10 and a bit stone because he's like a little. It's funny, mountain runners, they're these little wiry things. But, yeah, no, I need to get the fitness down, I need to get standing desk, improve all the computer upgrade thingies, and really just, I think, working myself a little bit, so I'm just feeling a bit better in terms of, like, fitness and health and things like that. And if I do all that, then it should really just come forward in the videos, and things should be better. Now, another topic, and I don't really mean this too seriously, that's why it's, you know, sitting here 25 minutes into the video, but I'm wondering how I can spice up the channel at the minute. I think that the mount guides are pretty well received, but I'm still just making sure that I don't oversaturate the channel with them, because if it's a mount guide every single day, people are going to get bored of that. That said, I do want there just to be one every week, and the same goes for lore videos. But with lore, I think unless you're noble, you're not going to do that well, because I think the wide interest in it's definitely for a novel style video that's really, really long, and of course, Noble's voice. That crazy accent that's not crazy accent, it's Holland, I think. Is he from Holland? I'm pretty sure he's from Holland. Anyway, yeah, or Netherlands, whatever. It's one of the two. I remember seeing a video by some guy about the crazy naming policies of the different regions within Holland / the Netherlands. But anyway, awesome accent. But yeah, I think he's really the king of that. And if I was going to make like a big 20-minute lore video, it would just take away so much from the rest of the schedule that it wouldn't be feasible. You know, to do that and then keep up lots of other videos, because I'm keenly aware that not everyone is into lore, and that's absolutely cool. So, I think overall I just want to keep it up with the guides. I want to keep it up with doing the lore videos, doing the Q&As, doing the mount guides. I'm thinking of doing a little bit more challenge mode stuff. I actually have one full challenge mode gold run. I'm sitting on my hard drive at the minute, so I'm going to turn that into a guide. But yeah, just in terms of like other things that I can do, I was thinking of something to do with the pet battles, but honestly, I just don't think there's enough appeal there. I'm sure I may enjoy making a video like that, but yeah, you have to think that the spot that video could take up could potentially provide entertainment to more people if it was something else, so that's kind of the way I think about it. It's all about finding things that you enjoy doing that a lot of people enjoy watching, because that way it's the best experience for both worlds. So, yeah, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of ways in which I can spice things up a little bit, I guess. I don't really want to do anything Let's Play-ish, I don't want to really do leveling videos or anything like that. I don't want to do machinima, because I just don't think I could really pull it off that well, and there's lots of people who do it better than me, so that's totally their thing and not mine. In terms of Saturdays, I do enjoy doing those top 5 lists. And they're fun. They do take about like 8 hours to make, depending on the list. Maybe 7 or 6 in some cases. Really depends on how long the video is and how much content I need to do, because sometimes it's like writing them and researching them. And hell, it's probably the thing in which like if I was just able to sit down for 4 hours and be amazingly perfectly concentrated, I could just get it done. But I think with all creative things, it's very hard to just sit down and do the entire thing at once. But anyway, yeah, those Saturday top 5s, top 10s, and discussion videos will probably keep on coming. I know there's been less discussion videos lately, but I'll do them when there's something to discuss. So if there's nothing to discuss, there won't be a discussion video. There'll be a top 5 instead. So in terms of other things, there really isn't a great deal to discuss for other channel ideas and videos. I suppose I should probably do a little bit more with raiding, but that just depends when I can nail down a solid raid schedule. I have been sort of venturing into Flex a little bit recently, and it has been fun. So maybe I'll try to make something work with that. Still though, in general, if you have any cool ideas, just, I don't know, leave them in the comments. Maybe there'll be something there which will kind of click with both you and me and the majority of the other people watching the video. So if you do see a good idea, be sure to hit that little thumbs up button that's on YouTube for the comment, and then I'll be able to see it a little bit easier. So yeah, I guess that's really it in terms of YouTube things. And just in terms of general game things, I mean, there's not really much else to say. I'm really looking forward to Heroes of the Storm. I'm really looking forward to playing more Reaper of Souls. And just Blizzard things are looking great. In terms of other games, I'm playing a bit of Titanfall. That's a game which I don't recommend buying unless you can find it for under £24, maybe 25, because it just doesn't have enough content. But it's still a really fun, well-made shooter. Yeah, also, there's The Walking Dead. I still need to play Season 2. I'm just going to wait until that all comes out at once so I can just play it and enjoy it. But that's really it in terms of games. There's not a great deal that I'm looking forward to that much coming up in the future. I guess Destiny could be fun, maybe some of those things. Halo 5, of course, I'll be very interested in, because I've always been a Halo nut all the time, but in general, I don't know, game is just kind of slugging on a little bit, I guess. I think Blizzard are really doing a lot of great work with the PC space. Looks like they're innovating quite a bit with thingy-majigger, the other game, Heroes of the Storm. It looks like they're shaking things up. It looks like Warlords of Draenor is going to be fantastic. So things are really looking great. And I guess another thing that I can't wait for is BlizzCon. Fuck it, should I talk about BlizzCon now or another video? I don't really know how to structure all this, honestly, because it's a pretty long video. I'll just quickly outline it. For BlizzCon, I probably won't go there until I'm 21, because America's got this, like, bullshit law where you can't go into clubs, or not. I hate clubs. What am I talking about? You can't really even go into bars and just, like, grab a pint or something until you're over 21, which is absolutely crazy, in my opinion. Hell, I mean, you can be a soldier, but you can't have a beer. That sounds up. What? That just blows my mind. But it's just annoying, because one of the things about BlizzCon that a lot of the YouTuber-y kind of people do is, now this is what some horrible bastards in PR and marketing would call networking. But what I would prefer to call it is just hanging out with cool people who do a similar thing to you. So I'd love to be able to just go to some of those cool, like, parties and shit when the YouTube channel's a little bit bigger, and I actually, you can go in there and kind of stand toe-to-toe with some of those people. I think that would be really fun, and it would just be great for just kind of like striking up opportunities, meeting people from Blizzard, that whole thing. So really, the next BlizzCon, well, the BlizzCon that I will go to is probably going to be the one in like 2 years' time, so it won't be the 2014 one. Actually, no, 1 year time, yeah, it may be the 2015 one, it just all depends. Still though, when I eventually do go to BlizzCon, which I will, I think I'll really enjoy it, so that'll be fun. Anyway, I'm just going to round this video off, and I know that it's not some, like, crazy, triumphant, you know, heavily edited video, but I think that when it comes to a subscriber, like, not subscriber, like a milestone, like hitting the first year, I'd rather just talk to people and have just a real conversation rather than try to do some, like, kind of hypey fanfare thing, because honestly, I don't really take myself that seriously. I don't think that I deserve some crazy, giant celebration thing. So, my overall plan for, you know, hitting the first year is do this video for YouTube, and then of course on my stream, well, I'll just be hanging out with people and we can have fun for a few hours. That seems like the best way to do it. So that's pretty much it. Do let me know what you think about just fuck it, the life in general, and what the, you know, what's the crack. There you go. That'll be my question for the day, so whatever. Thank you very much for watching. If you managed to make it this far, then congratulations, you have fought through a complete sea of incoherency. Well done. And yeah, I will see you next time. Check out the live stream.